Looks like we're live online. That's good. Legion just came out. He's not whatever you wanted them to be, unfortunately. But that's just how it rolls, I guess. But we got all these blood points, and we're gonna pour them into Legion. And I'm gonna start doing this. I'm gonna start pouring points into killers off stream for y'all. That way it doesn't waste too much time. But I literally just opened the application and was really like, well, time to pour some drinks. Gotta do this to unlock all the perks slots. All we gotta do is just unlock the last perk slot. Fishing for monitor and abuse. If I can get that perk, then I'll stop. I'd say if you don't want to watch all of this, you just fast forward to about like the 7 or 9 minute point, because this is going to take a while. Give me a second, guys. I want to check something out real quick. I am sorry. again, like, just wanted to see who was all online. There we go. For anybody who wants to join, let me turn on my status. And we should be good. All right. If I'm right, 1,000,000 blood points is enough to get you to level 35? I'm not sure. So teachables will unlock now for other characters. That's good. Might as well go ahead and grab this. The only thing that's going to be useful about this killer is probably the perks. And I highly doubt that. Everything about this killer is just an annoyance or an inconvenience. Well, I guess I'm grabbing the application. I've yet to get monitor and abuse. Alright, well, I said 9-minute mark and I went over that, so yep, this is what we're gonna do, I guess. At rank 1, by the way, so ouch. Open lockers 30% faster, survivors who exit lockers suffer the exposed stats effect. Sure. What's your other unique perk? Oh no, it's right here. Okay, Discordance. Highlight in yellow for 8 seconds. 3 unique perks. shit ton of add-ons. Increase frenzy movement speed. It's nothing important, so. Oh, what's up, Jermaine? Alright, considerably decreases power gauge. Hey, what's up, Jermaine?
Oh, that was streaming?
Yeah, I'm streaming.
What thou streaming?
I am streaming Dead by Daylight. The new killer is
Dying
out.
Light. Oh, Dying Lit.
Dead by Daylight.
Oh, Dead by Daylight. Nah, I'm just playing.
The amount of time required for survivors to complete the mend action. Significantly increases throw frenzy duration. Sure. Alright, so do I have a new map offering? No, it doesn't look like I do. Let's put on the Mori so people can see the Mori. If we even get to that point, this killer is not gonna be downing people. Like, I'll be really surprised if at rank 1 these survivors don't know how to counter this killer whatsoever. Oh yeah, so costume wise, I decided to play with Julie. I prefer female over male killers generally. So yeah. Where's the killer? Okay, pull it up. Alright, so 4.4 meters per second, 24 meter terror radius, average height. 4.6 meters per second, 32, tall, 32, 4.6, 4.6. Yeah, so average killer is 4.6. It looks like Michael 4.6. 6 meters tall, yeah. 4.4, 4.6. 4.6.
I'm for practice mode for like 30 minutes.
Freddy is 4.6. So yeah, it seems as though like average killer speed is 4.6 meters per second. 32 meters for a tear radius? Holy crap, I didn't even realize that. Alright, so it looks like everybody just wants to earn blood points this game. Like I said, I'm not going to be surprised if these survivors know how to play against Legion. Legion is not a good killer. Terror, I'd say, like, with all the gameplay that we've seen posted on YouTube from multiple really well-known Dead by Daylight YouTubers, Twitch streamers, and such, it seems as though Legion is worse than Freddy, and this is a problem because Freddy is bad enough. But I checked into like perk builds, looking up how what perks work well with Legion. Not many. Aside from Legion's own perks, which are utter garbage, for him, not many perks work on Legion. You're not going to be downing survivors that often, so, you know, and Feral Frenzy, so you really don't I don't know, it's just, Legion is just weird. Alright. God, I feel like I'm Huntress. I feel like I am Huntress.
Why can I not finish that combo anymore? There we go.
Everything's so bright and colorful. I like the textures that they did. What the fuck? This is about to be hard. Oh my god, why? Ooh, that lunge is good. Okay, so we got a good lunge. Am I gonna hit anybody with this fucking power? Good thing. You can use the power whenever you want. You don't have to wait for the meter to fill up. That sucks. The meter doesn't go down while you're chasing them. Jesus. So they essentially turned borrow time into deep wound. They just gave borrow time a status effect. What, going in? Are you kidding me? Going into the ability for 1 second is enough to stun me if I exit the ability at any moment in time? Are you crazy? I see you. This is just horrible. What the fuck?
DeLorean is dragging the toxic.
Jesus, this killer is so bad. This killer is horrible. By far the worst killer in Dead by Daylight. By far.
What's up, Sammy? When did you know if
You know, I know.
Dragunov is top tier?
Dragunov is A tier.
Low tier?
Yeah, he's basically somewhat top tier. He's not at the top,
Can you
he's not at the
explain why,
bottom.
please?
Explain
He's
why he's
mid-tier.
top tier?
No, explain why he's mid tier.
No, he's A tier. A tier isn't mid tier. A tier is just a tier below S tier.
Oh, well then please explain why.
His down 2 got nerfed.
Oh,
Yeah, you see,
It
Dragunov's
was.
down 2 used to force crouch on hit in season 1, and because now it doesn't put his opponents in crouch, but instead leaves him crouching, his opponents can beat him out with anything that's less than 13 frames. Basically meaning now that he loses out on a lot of his options for pressure, and he's resorted to down forward 1 and back 1+2 for plus frames. He still got while running 2, but down 2 is just a poke that passes his turn, whether it's on hit or on block.
high tier 2. You know any characters that are punish based? Is there any characters that are so-called punish based? If there is, they have good punishers, or is that not a thing?
There's a lot of characters with good punishment tools. Are you talking about like for punishing Dragunov or just punishment in general?
In general. Also, I'm pretty much over it on facing laws in rank. 'Cause I faced him before I went to school today, and it did not work out because then he started spamming what's that word? What's that move that everyone spams just about now? Wait, what's that move? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to describe. Anyway, he basically does what... It's that move where he does a flash kick. Well, that's what I like to call it. That's what it is.
Oh my god, I can't see scratch marks while using this fucking ability. Bro, what?
Yeah. He kept spamming that, and then the move that kind of looks like a sideways flash kick on the ground.
That move was unsafe. Very unsafe.
What the hell?
At least you know what I'm talking about.
Oh my god, I can't even juke catch with this killer at all. Like, this killer is horrible. This killer is so bad.
That move is super unsafe.
Yeah, that's what they kept spamming.
So, not only is this killer shorter than Freddy, in my opinion, you can't see scratch marks or trails of blood that well when you're using the ability. If you use the ability once and then try to exit the ability at any time, in the middle of using it, you will suffer the stun delay. This killer is horrible. This killer is worse than Freddy.
Ed boy, don't you know you don't have to live your life that way. Ed boy, cause you are better than the shine of a shepherd. Ed boy, Ed boy, don't you know you don't have to live your life that way.
This sucks ass.
You are better than the
Nice to know.
I saw you, Fang. Can't see scratch marks when using the ability. I'm fucked.
Live your life.
This person is stuck due to the game's glitch, so I'm gonna let them go.
Wait, since when did King have his own variation of a wave gun? You said
I
what?
don't know about the other ones. He's always had one in this game. I don't know about the other ones.
Wow. DeLorean, how long did it take you to master the Mishimas?
Years.
Did you say you mastered them?
To master a Mishima, takes years. I haven't even mastered Mishimas.
I was gonna say, to get to the level where you are now, I should say.
To get to how I play with Mishimas,
Yeah.
it's gonna take you a year. Yeah, it took me that long.
We'll see. As I've only.
It's gonna take you months
had
of
this
practicing
game
electrics, getting your execution on point, and not execution as in just being able to execute combos. Execution also goes for being able to perfectly electric someone in the face for doing something that's negative 14 or higher, which is extremely hard to do, by the way.
Question. I have a question. This is a weird question, but what do you think of when you think hot cocoa and ice cream?
You said what?
What do you think of when you hear hot cocoa and ice cream?
Hot cocoa and ice cream?
Yes.
I don't think anything of it.
Like, Does anything pop into your head when you hear it?
Not that I can think of.
Uh, I think I'm gonna go ahead and buy Marduk now. I don't think I'm gonna use Armor King. Yeah, let me go ahead and do that right now.
Ouch. Okay, so you can't hear anything when you're using the ability either. Sound gets drowned out. So I cannot find anything possibly good about this killer.
Nothing at all.
No. Movement speed is 110, I believe. Which isn't good. Because that means that this killer is slow. This killer is very short. She cannot see over T-walls like Trapper, Wraith, Michael can. That's another problem. The fact that this killer is short is already a bad thing, because that means that this killer is good at getting endlessly looped. Survivors will be able to tell where this killer is looking. And survivors will be able to use their camera to move around the killer more fluidly. The only thing that I can think of that this killer is good for is just being very inconvenient in the game. Like, you know, this killer is just serves as an agitation, just a small annoyance in your ass. That's all this killer is. You really have to, like, think about it this way, right? When this killer uses their ability and they hit you, you're forced to mend yourself or go down. But it's quite inconvenient how you have to do that before you can do anything else. It keeps you off of the generators. You see what I mean? You know, most killers, they want you to stay off of generators, which is a good thing for this killer. The bad thing for this killer is that at 110% movement speed and basically no will rate to respect pallets, this killer unfortunately won't be able to down you. They'll just be able to keep you off of gens. And any good survivors know that's not going to last too long. This killer is horrible. This is the worst killer by far to have come to Dead by Daylight, in my opinion. And I have like 3 other Twitch streamers / YouTubers that that only play Dead by Daylight that will even tell you this killer is bad. This killer is pretty fucking horrible. And you see, here's the bad thing about this killer. The worst thing is that no real perks can work with this killer. Hex Ruin works for everyone, so okay, Hex Ruin. But name another perk. Let's say No One Escapes Death, right? No One Escapes Death is a perfect crutch perk for every killer in the game because it gives you a secure kill. The problem is, if this killer wants to catch up to survivors, this killer has to use their ability, which gives them regular running speed or regular speed of that of a regular killer, which isn't a bad thing. The problem is that while using this ability, you apply the deep wound status effect. So because of that, No One Escapes Death won't work. You won't insta down that survivor. You'll only serve to basically delay them. And if there's an exit gate open, it doesn't matter, the survivor wins.
Yeah, you can basically say it's good for nothing.
You can't hear much of any sounds in the immediate area while using the ability. The ability, when at the end of the ability, it has a stun time for about 2 seconds, which means that you're losing. Time. Yeah, a stun timer.
That's a... Why?
That means that after this killer uses their ability, once the ability is over, this killer is stun locked. in an animation for 2 seconds. This is enough for any survivor to save another survivor off of the hook. This is good enough for another survivor to escape out of a chase. And there's nothing that this killer can do about it. You can tap L2 to go into the stance of frenzy mode. But let's say you only want to use your ability for 1 second instead of the 5 seconds that you're allowed to stay in frenzy. Well, you can do that, except if you tap L2 to exit the stance or the frenzy mode, you suffer the same stun timer as if you used up your entire ability. Oh, and even after you've used it for 1 second and exited the frenzy mode and suffered that timer, your ability has to refill up as if you used it up already.
Wow. I'll probably back. I'll return.
God, this killer is bad. I'd rather play Freddy than this killer, and that says something. How's Legion for you, bro? All I've been facing are tunneling and camping ones. Nightmare, I am really sorry to say, but this killer is bad. This killer is horrible. This killer is worse than Freddy. If you want, I can play a game for you and show you, but I'll give you all the problems with this killer as I go along. But this killer is just bad. I did get a 4K not that long ago, don't get me wrong, but that took a lot of mind gaming. Actually, I more so capitalized off of the multiple mistakes that those survivors made, which any regular sane killer would do. That's the only thing that saved my ass. But that aside, they gen rushed me, they looped me endlessly. There was no way for me to do anything, bro. You know, Freddy, he's geared towards tunneling because that's what they nerfed him down to. I'm not saying it's impossible to play Freddy without tunneling, but you're going to be causing yourself a lot of pain and torture and suffering if you're not tunneling with that killer. Legion is worse. I think if you're not tunneling with Legion, you're not going to get a kill. You're just not. Legion has no way to respect pallets. Well, Legion can vault pallets. True, but that's only while Legion is in frenzy. And because there's such a huge space in between the vault and the pallet after Legion vaults the pallet, unfortunately, Legion can't do anything about it except for turn around. And then survivors can just vault the pallet. Legion will suffer the stun timer from his ability. While using his ability, Legion cannot hear much. The sound is drowned out. Legion can't see scratch marks. Legion can't see highlighted blood trails, all while using the ability. After the ability is over, you suffer a 2-second stun delay timer. And because of Legion's ability specifically, not many perks will work. Yeah. Let's say no one escapes death. You put that on Legion, you use your ability, you're going to be hitting them with a deep wound status effect, not the exposed status effect, unfortunately. So you're still going to be having to down that survivor in 2 or 3 hits. That's bad. This killer is weak. This killer is not fun at all. Everything about this killer aesthetically looks good. On the outside, everything about this killer looks good, but then when you see how this killer plays, everything about the killer is bad. So, let's go for another thing too. Let's talk about stuff that's outside the ability. Legion's height. I can't see over T-walls. Or pallets. I'm shorter than a pallet. Making it very easy for survivors to loot me and use their cameras to outmaneuver me. Legion's walk speed is about the same as Huntress's. Give me a second. Let me see what I can do here. Nope. Oh my god. Oh yeah, and it's near impossible to juke catch with this killer too. Oh yeah, and after you hit a survivor twice while using Frenzy, you immediately run out of your ability. That's another problem. I have to chase survivors while I'm what you call it, outside of my ability, just because of this. Barbecue and chili would probably be a half decent perk on Legion. Not the best perk, not the worst perk, just half decent, but then you take up a lot of space for other perks that could be useful, which there are not that many of. I didn't even use the entire ability.
That's unfortunate.
I swear to God, I hate this killer. I hate everything about this killer. I love the look of the killer, but I hate this killer's ability. I hate how you have to play this killer, and you're not guaranteed kills. Look at that. Just look at how horrible that is. Oh yeah, and Legion has a big tear radius. See, he can loop around this boat as infinite amount of times as he wants, and I can't do anything about it.
I'll go ahead and buy on the team. What the heck? It'd be fun playing with that old man again.
Unfortunately, you have to use the ability to catch up to survivors.
Otherwise,
you won't be catching up to them.
oh.
Hey, buddy, I don't know what you thought you were doing, but you do realize the basement is right here, right?
Gotta wait for my life to boil.
Oh my fucking god, they're gen rushing me. They're pushing those gens really bad. This is really bad. That's one gen. Where's the other one? I'm gonna kick this one down because it's actually almost done. Can I not kick it? I'm getting so frustrated. So fucking frustrated. Look, by the time I get up here, they'll be gone. Guarantee it.
Damn, man, what are you playing right now? Oh. Well, why did you say nothing?
This killer is, yeah, Slendy. I'm like,
Did
I
you
don't
want to
know,
play
man.
against me? I was supposed to be playing.
You said what?
Did you want to play against me?
Hey, what's up, Kennard? The devs made a weak, fun killer who isn't viable at all, bearing mind games. There is no mind game potential with this killer. There's just not. If any survivor falls for any of the mind games with this killer, they are dumb. They deserve to get put on the hook for it.
You really
Is he
hate
good?
that character.
No. This killer isn't good, Knard. Not at all.
You really can't stand that character.
No, it's not that I can't stand him. It's just that there's people in the stream asking questions, and unfortunately for me, I have no choice but to repeat myself. What are you doing? What are you doing? Was that your? Is that a weak ass attempt at a 360? What are you doing? You see what I mean? Like I'm getting hooks because they're being dumb. If these were a bunch of smart survivors, I promise you that it would not be going like this. I would not even be able to land a hit. I have no choice but to leave the hook. I'm not a camper. And they already got this door open, more than likely. Either that or it's about to be open by the time I get there. Oh my fucking god.
I don't know if these guys drop us.
There you go. Now I have both the DLC characters.
Wow.
You said what?
Oh, just give me a 50. I said wow.
Yay, I'm chasing somebody at 110%, guys. Look at how much time that I have to waste.
Well, to be fair, I used to main both King and Armor King, so it was gonna be essential that I get Armor King.
Suffered that
I
earlier.
just didn't plan on getting Martyr. Yeah, I just hadn't planned on getting Martyr.
Got no choice but to leave the hook. This killer is so short that I can't even peer down at anything to really see if there's anyone there, so I can't see anything. I can't see if there's anyone moving around this side. I just lost him. No, I didn't. Oh, wait, that's right. He's gonna get out. Yeah, he's look at this. Look at this. He's about to escape for free. Watch. Teabag. Yeah. Uh-huh. And a dead hard. This killer is just horrible. Look at all of that happened. That the deep wound does not guarantee a down survivor at all, and the fact that you're in a chase stops the timer. If look, in my opinion, if the chase didn't stop the timer, this killer would be fucking amazing. But nope, it doesn't even do that. Look at that. So what do y'all think? Slendy?
I think you should just put a different game. I thought you were stuck on the bench.
No, this game isn't pissing me off. You misunderstand. The killer is is the problem here. Everyone is screaming Legion needs buffs. I don't think they know how bad it is.
Where people would hitting you with the it's not the killer, it's the player.
Well, no, in this game it is the player, but not the killer. But it's also dependent on your killer's abilities and how you use them. Unfortunately, there's nothing useful about this killer's ability, which means that in the eyes of this killer, it is the killer and not the player. The killer is the problem. Freddy is bad, but at least Freddy guarantees downs. Freddy guarantees good chases. The only thing wrong with Freddy is the fact that he can get endlessly looped now, and that it's easy to get out of the dream world. But that aside, at least you can still down survivors. The Legion can't do that.
No, yeah, I was gonna cut that one off also.
He or she
really
is
do not
too
like that
weak and
character.
can be fun at low ranks, but on high ranks they get stomped easily. Yeah, this killer is horrible. I like, honestly, Nightmare, and this goes for you too, Knard. If you guys want to tunnel or camp with this killer, that is probably your best bet, because that is probably the only way that you're going to get a kill. Because I guarantee you, within the first within the first few seconds of whatever chase starting, it's going to take you a long time to down a survivor. You're only going to have 2 gens left by the time you hook your first survivor, unfortunately. That is way too much time wasted. It takes 2 minutes. It takes 1.5 to 2 minutes to get a generator done. It takes you 2 seconds of suffering a stun timer from using the ability. The ability has a 5-second usage. Deep Wound goes down in 20 seconds. The bleed out timer from Deep Wound goes down in 20 seconds. Problem with that is that if you're in a chase, it stops the timer. You have to tunnel and camp to get kills with Legion, which is disappointing. You have to tunnel and camp to get kills with Legion, and at the same time, those kills are not guaranteed. And because the devs specifically nerfed camping in general by decreasing your chaser emblem, you're not going to get any points. So you're not getting any points with this killer. You're not getting any kills with this killer. You're not getting any use out of this killer. This killer is nothing. If I rated killers from S to D tier, this killer would alone be at Z tier. This killer would be at the very bottom of the alphabet. That's how bad this killer is. There's no way of making this killer work, even using the cheapest of strats. I'd say your best bet is to use the killer's add-ons. The killer's add-ons are really good, and it's only those add-ons that is the saving grace of this killer. But if you're playing this killer without add-ons, if you're playing this killer without certain perks, you're gonna have a hard time. Right now, so far, I can only think of 2 perks that work. 2, and that's Hex Ruin, because Hex Ruin works for every killer, and Barbecue and Chili to help you find survivors, or Nurse's Calling. Actually, I'd say Nurse's Calling is better than Barbecue, because a lot of survivors know how to fake out Barbecue and Chili. So Barbecue and Chili is virtually useless now. It's not part of the meta. But if you use Nurse's Calling would be a really good perk to put on the Legion. Especially since you're applying the Deep Wound status effect, which mending is a healing action now, so that's a good thing. So those are the only 2 perks that I can see working on this killer. I cannot see any other perks. I can go through, if I had every perk for this killer, I could go through every single perk and give you reasons why none of those perks work.
The new killer is ass.
Nigga,
Why?
The new killer is the shit coming out of the ass, man.
And I tried to listen to you when you said that it was still in beta and they were still working on it. I'm thinking, okay, he got a point. Maybe they'll change something.
I was hoping
This
that they
nigga's
would.
ass.
Well, we still got. Well, the thing is that we still got time. What about a huge terror radius to find survivors faster?
How
I'll
they
get to
even
that in a
rework
second.
the other killers?
We still got time because the Legion just got released now across all platforms. So the minute the devs start hearing complaints from the community raging about the Legion, I'm pretty sure the Legion is going to get a buff. My problem with this killer is because of how they made him. If you buff him even slightly, he becomes overpowered. If you don't buff him at all, he's weak. This killer is so fucking sensitive. It's going to be impossible to balance this killer.
He has to be OP. He has to be.
But here's the thing, though, right? Here's the thing. And Canard, you would agree if you ever played against this killer, and let's say they gave this killer a 2% movement increase buff. All right, this means that the killer moves at about 4.5 to 4.6 meters per second. Or basically about 112, 113, maybe even 114 or 115% movement speed. The problem with that is that now this killer can catch up to survivors whether they're using the ability or not. Because in order to give the speed buff to the killer naturally in terms of walk speed and running speed, you also have to give the ability its buff because this killer runs when he's using its ability. That's a problem. That means that you cannot escape him. You cannot loop him because he can vault pallets and windows. You don't have anything to really do against this killer as a survivor. But right now, it's either bully or be bullied, unfortunately, with this killer. He's bad.
That shit's ridiculous. Like, no one has money to throw away on these killers, bro. They tripping. These niggas need to rework all the killers. I don't even give a fuck if there are killers that's already OP. Make them stronger. The survivors need a challenge. The survivors run over every killer.
Survivors can run over every killer, but almost every killer has some type of way to say, you know, to give the middle finger to the survivors. You know what I mean? Every killer has a chance. Even Freddy has a slight chance. Legion has none. Freddy's mixtape, or Frank's mixtape, let's see, considerably increases the amount of damage applied to a survivor's deep wound timer while attacking a Feral Frenzy. That's good. Considerably decreases the deep wound timer of all survivors. It's even better. Considerably increases the amount of time required for survivors to complete the mend action. So the Filthy Blade and obviously Stab Wound Study would be like a good combo. Fuming Mixtape. While using Feral Frenzy, the repair progress of generators can be determined by the intensity of their ores. That is the same exact add-on that they gave the Wraith. Oh shit, my bad, Nightmare. I forgot to answer your question. What about a huge tear radius to find survivors faster? Does Feral Frenzy help you find survivors? Let me check. Applies deep wound status effect. Injured the survivor if they're not already injured. Refills the killer's entire power gauge. Increases the killer's tear radius for the duration of the power. Triggers Killer Instinct, revealing the location of all survivors who do not have the deep wound status effect applied and are within the killer's tear radius. A big tear radius build would be the go-to thing. The problem is still the chase and finding a survivor. You have to find the survivor first. Think about it. What can you do to find a survivor with this short of a killer? With this killer who moves at this movement speed? How can you find a survivor? That survivor has to be playing out in the open. The killer's tear radius is already big enough. Survivors, the minute they start hearing a heartbeat, they're going to hide or they're going to run. They'd be dumb enough not to. So if you make the killer's tear radius bigger, you have to have a way of finding those survivors, and you don't. I'd say, you know what? I wonder if tracking perks would work on this killer. Maybe that's what you have to do. Like build a tracking build. Let's see. Sprints faster than base movement speed. Okay. Can vault pallets but cannot break them. Survivor scratch marks are hidden from the killer's view. Missed attacks have a reduced cooldown. Yep, nope, tracking perks won't work. Bloodhound would. But Bloodhound would be a waste of a decent perk slot if you could have better perks. So, but, I mean, Bloodhound could work if you're dependent on the ability. I'd say right now, so far, a good build for Legion just revolves Bloodhound, Nurse's Calling, and Hex Ruin. I'm trying to think of what else to give the killer right now. Let's go through. Let's go to a killer that I have all the perks for. Let me see. Let's see. What about Huntress? I have every perk in the game for Huntress. Third Seal, not downing survivors. Distressing, have to find a survivor first. The exposed status effect will not work on this killer just because of the deep wound status effect. It counters the exposed status effect. Brutal Strength, you're not breaking pallets. Devour Hope, exposed. Monitor and Abuse. You know, I thought Monitor and Abuse would be a good perk on this killer, but you need a big tear radius to find survivors after you found the first survivor. And so decreasing your tear radius with Monitor and Abuse could have its downside. You know what? Never mind actually, because you could put monitor and abuse on to decrease your terror radius to find a survivor. And then while you're in the chase, your terror radius becomes bigger. Hence, if you hit a survivor while using frenzy, you should be able to find other survivors faster. So monitor and abuse is a possible. I'm gonna get a notebook out, piece of paper, that way we can write down this. Feel free to brainstorm in the chat what perks you think might work and might not work. Help, that way we can figure out how the hell this killer can do. So we said Hex Ruin, that's in general perk. Nurse's Calling, Bloodhound, in the possible column we're gonna put and these are possibles, that means that these aren't guaranteed to work perks, but monitor and abuse, distressing with monitor and abuse. You see, the thing is though, Slendy, is that you don't want to increase the killer's tear radius before you start the chase. That's only giving survivors more time to hide, and that's only basically decreasing how much time you have to find a survivor before the first gen pops. I mean, but then again, yeah, no, I don't see it. Especially since nowadays rank 1 survivors push through Hex Ruin like it's nothing. So you really don't have that many options. Distressing, I would not consider. You don't want to buff the killer's terror radius before you find a survivor. You want to try to decrease it before you find a survivor. That way it's easier when you're in the chase. Monitor and abuse would work, but distressing would not. Remember me, if you hit your obsession, you get a token, 5 seconds per token, can equal up to about 30 seconds, which means that you have to hit that survivor 6 times. That would mean that you're tunneling your obsession, and that takes a lot of time away. Remember, this killer's ability stops if this killer's ability didn't stop the deep wound timer, I would totally agree that Remember Me would work, but Remember Me would not be good for this killer because the deep wound status effect timer does not stop while you're in the chase, and you have to hit that survivor a second time while you're in frenzy, otherwise you suffer that delayed timer, which means that you are generally going to get a survivor down in about 4 hits. 3 to 4 hits. True Talent, Artitha, Monto, Bricky, they all had the hardest time trying to figure out perks for this killer because of how bad the killer is. Thanatophobia. You know what? A lot of people are saying that Thanatophobia would not work. I have a reason to think that it might possibly work. It might possibly be a good combo with Hex Ruin. Only for this killer, only because of the fact that your go-to basis with this killer is to go around smacking survivors. Thanatophobia does not work for many killers because you're downing survivors too fast. But for this killer, it might just work. It might. So I'm going to throw that under the possible column. And let me know your thoughts on that. Save the best for last. You have to catch up to that survivor first. I don't think so. Rancor, Exposed Status Effect, Mori Your Obsession. Deep Wound counters that already, unfortunately. Deerstalker. Deerstalker would be good if you're going around downing survivors. But how often are you going to get a down? Downs aren't even guaranteed with the killer. Deerstalker is an arguably decent perk for this killer, and unfortunately it's an arguably bad perk to be putting on the killer as well. Whispers might help you find survivors. So I guess if you want to go for a big terror radius build, then Whispers would be your go-to thing. But you're still spending a lot of time looking for a survivor. Tinkerer. No, Tinkerer wouldn't work. Enduring. Honestly, Enduring probably would be a good perk to put on this killer, just because you're probably going to be getting pallet slapped a lot. The survivors generally, especially I'm starting to see in a lot of Twitch streamers streams for Dead by Daylight that survivors are trying to bait killers into walking into the pallet, that way they can slap the Legion. So, and that's a lot more time. But then again, you recovering faster from the stun is what you want. If they added a little pocket note that Enduring would help the Legion recover from the frenzy stun, it would be beautiful. I wonder if that's the case. Let's check the patch notes real quick. So these are all the fixes. Alright, here's the dev's message on Deep Wound. The Deep Wound timer now pauses while the survivor is in a chase, and the killer is shown a location indicator if the survivor goes down because of the Deep Wound. For these reasons, Borrow Time's bleed out timer has been reduced to 10, 15, 20 seconds, previously 15, 20, 25 seconds. Before putting the afflicted survivor into the dying state, the portrait icon in the bottom left corner in the bottom left of the screen indicates the amount of time the survivor has before they go down. The icon, okay. The screen effects while in Deep Wound have also been modified from the desaturated look of the original Borrow Time to now incorporate more blood to make it very clear that you are still in peril. Okay. That doesn't answer any questions. Perk fixes. See, that's a map fix. Killer related fixes. Fixed an issue that made it impossible for the trapper to pick up survivors from a bear trap when it was placed too close to a totem. Actually, I enjoy that one. I will enjoy that a lot. It's an issue that caused the survivors to move in front of the camera when the spirit attacks while carrying the survivor on her shoulder. And the spirit nurse to go into a fatigue state when blink interrupting a survivor. I'm fixing the issue that caused the nurse to clip into survivors during her Mori kill. Fixing the issue that caused Clown's knife to become misaligned when interrupting a survivor's waltzing toward them. No, there's nothing in here about Legion. There's nothing in here about Enduring. Wait until reset on Thursday. Watch a drop in Legion. I'd say the minute the rank resets, the minute the rank resets, everyone's going to play Legion. And then after everyone gets back to rank 1, you're not going to see Legion at all. Legion is not going to be played anywhere past 10. I can guarantee that. If the person playing him is playing him at rank 10, they are a madman. madman or madwoman. Snap out of it, no longer affected by a nurse's calling perk. What? What? Whoa. Are you fucking kidding me? Snap out of it is no longer affected by a nurse's calling perk. Actions such as snap out of it and mending are not healing actions, thus perks should not affect them. Excuse me? Let's pull up the definition of mend right now, devs, in case you didn't know, because I don't know if you knew this or not, but the word mend literally means to heal. Yes, and here we are. There's literally about 3 or 4 definitions for this. Mend, repair something that is broken or damaged, return to health or heal, and improve an unpleasant situation, especially a disagreement. So you mean to tell me that you're giving the name of an action mend, but it doesn't count as a healing action? I'm sorry, that I cannot wrap my brain around that. That makes no fucking sense. If you have to, as a survivor, if you have to do any action that requires yourself, not repairing or anything, rather it's healing, rather it's sitting there mending a fucking meter or a timer for bleed out, or rather you're trying to fix your brain against the doctor, I'm sorry, but that should count as a healing action. Goodbye viability with nurses calling. Yup. The nurses calling will not work on Legion. They took that away. And since mending doesn't count as a healing action, you might as well take out Thanatophobia, because how many survivors are going to legit just heal knowing that your ability is not going to do shit to them? Thanatophobia will only serve to slow them down, but it's not serving any actual other purpose. The point of Thanatophobia was so that you can slow them down and see them healing, but they're not going to heal because Nurse's Calling is taken out, Thanatophobia is taken out. Made it possible for survivors to cancel being healed by walking away. Prior to this change, survivors needed to run in order to cancel being healed. That was true. That was annoying. Hiding inside of lockers now block the auras of survivors while they are inside.
Is Kennard in here?
Yeah, Kennard is in here.
Okay.
While crouched, now stay crouched. Increase the brightness of auras. Maybe Sloppy Butcher? No. This killer moves at 110% movement speed, unfortunately, meaning that this killer moves slow. So even if you was to hit a survivor with Sloppy Butcher, it doesn't really serve much of a point like that. I'd say the only time you really want to run Sloppy Butcher is when you're running a status effect build that is geared towards seeing when survivors heal. Nurse's Calling has no viability on the mend effect. I mean, maybe Bloodhound. Bloodhound and Sloppy Butcher would be a good combo for this killer, I think. If we're talking about running Sloppy Butcher with Bloodhound, then yes, Sloppy Butcher works. But if it's not with that perk specifically, this perk does not work. Strider? Wait a minute. Strider. Strider might work in place of Nurse's Calling. It's basically like Nurse's Calling, except you don't see them heal, you just hear them crying from pain, but it's better than nothing. So Strider might work. Okay. And what else? And let me know what you think about that, Slendy. Not many Hex Totems are going to work on the killer, so we're not even going to go with Hex of the Hunt. I mean, I guess if you want to kick down generators, Overcharge is decent. I guess we're going to create the Meh column, which is the third column. We don't want to go through in the city. Shadowborn? Eh? Eh? Shadowborn is a really good perk for no apparent reason, and all it does is increase your field of view. So it might work on Legion. Just might. I think that's all the perks. I'm correct. Yeah, I think that's all the perks. I'm trying to think of what other perks. I would say Bamboozle, but Bamboozle would only be useful if it could block pallets too, because this killer can vault pallets. But Bamboozle doesn't state that killers can vault, that the pallets can be blocked, mainly because of the fact that this is the first ever killer who's able to vault a pallet. So they never really put anything in place for that. They didn't think this far ahead. And it's not in the patch notes.
Okay, I think I got the basic idea of Armor King now.
Having a hard time figuring out what perks are going to work for this killer.
Yeah, I came back.
Alright, you wanna
there
play
you
some
are.
Knuckles?
Wait, Blackout or Tekken?
Either one, I don't care.
Let's play
It's up to you. Pick one.
Get on Black Ops, you lovebirds.
Basically, it's high key.
If you want to, then hell, I'll jump on Black Ops.
I'm just gonna end up playing Black Ops anyway.
It's Lindy. Do you want me to invite you to the party chat? That way we can discuss this a little bit more, or are you good?
Damn, that fucked up. The new killer is ass. What the fuck?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give Armor King a chance in this one. That's what I was looking for.
True Talent had a difficulty with this killer. I don't know. Arditha ran a shitstorm riot about this killer. Y'all thought my reaction to this killer is bad? Y'all should watch Arditha's video. He completely cussed out the devs.
He cussed out the who?
He cussed out the devs. Like in his video, Arditha specifically cussed out the developers of this game.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he cussed out Behavior for not listening to the community about having a fun, viable killer. Because the devs have always said that they're just gonna start releasing killers that are fun but not necessarily viable. I'm sorry, but you can't have fun with a killer who isn't getting anywhere progression-wise with kills, chases, or points. If you created this entire video game based off of this entire online video game based off of a point system, and there's no way of having fun if you're not getting points. I mean, I can see if you were getting some points, then there was some bit of fun with that killer. But let's face it, with Survivor, you're generally holding down one button at a time and clicking the other button. With Killer, you're doing a whole lot more. I don't understand where's the fun part if that killer isn't viable. Especially if that killer is so bad that they shouldn't even be considered for being played.
Yeah. I think I have I'm pretty sure I have the basic idea of this character.
Yeah, I need to get some. I don't know if somebody gonna be playing Tekken tomorrow, but I'm gonna try to get some matches in on my Divine Ruler Lars.
That you already reviewed Ruler now? Are you already reviewed Ruler now?
Oh, he made it. Yeah, he passed up Revered Ruler. He's Divine Ruler now. So one more rank and he's Eternal, and then after that he goes into the Azure Blue or Royal Blue ranks. Or Dark Blue. Yep.
I want to be a Yakuza before I stop ranking up for a minute. Give it a week or two. Against your layoff. It seems like no matter how much I rank up, I can't fucking win.
Against who?
Your fucking Leo and Warren shit's fucking annoying. Somebody. I did all I could with Lars. That's all I'm gonna say, man.
Alright, don't compare yourself to me, man. Just focus on building yourself up as a player. Alright,
I've been fighting a lot of pubs.
I'm gonna play one last game as Legion, and then after that, I might play a different killer, or I might just turn off the stream. This killer has already irritated me to my wit's end.
Does she even have a good Mori or heat, whatever it is?
Oh, the killer's Mori is beautiful. You see, like I said, everything about the killer aesthetically is beautiful. the killer's look, the killer's clothing, the masks, even the Bowie knife that the killer uses as a weapon, and the Mori. But then that's all that there is to this killer. I don't know how the fuck you're gonna get the chance to Mori somebody. I was lucky to pull that shit out my ass.
That was gonna be fun playing with this character once again.
Once you get Divine Ruler, that's what happened today.
Yeah.
Okay.
I played a ball for my Divine Ruler.
Did you record it?
And we spawned
Nope.
on this map.
Because I didn't record it because for one, I fucking fucked up. I skipped over because usually when I get my rank, I'll wait till the rank pop up. And when I was Revere Ruler, which I completely forgot about that fucking fight until the thing popped up. I clicked on it and skipped over it. So I moved on and I went to fight a couple of ball players. I had fought multiple ball players, like some at green rank, another one who was revered, another one who was fucking divine. Like, it was a bunch of different ball players. I'm like, what the fuck going on? Them ball players getting their weight up. Never mind, that sounds wrong.
Discriminating against fat people is wrong.
can make Astra Blue ranks by tomorrow, maybe by January, I should be a Tekken King. Wait, the invite towards me?
Oh my fucking god, man.
Alright, let me get on Tekken.
Oh, so you are playing Tekken. Can I get an invite?
I was on Black Ops.
Oh, you waiting for me to send it back? I'll invite me.
Oh no, I'll get on Tekken if you want me to. Hold on.
I just want to not try it. I just want to try this character out against people I know. That's all.
Oh no. I'm looking around, but I don't see anybody in my tear radius. Suffer the stun now. There's a second person over here.
Oh wow! So that spamming move with King is now a 2-hit with Armor King. Neat.
You can get some people good with that damn miss.
You said what?
Fuck.
Oh, the miss?
Yeah.
Yeah, because apparently there's a wave dash to miss. If, as the rage art.
Really? A disconnect? Really?
Oh wow, that's the power crush? That makes things a lot easier. They may call him the King of Wakanda, but I call him the King of Greensville. You'd know what I'm talking about if you saw the wave I customized on my team. I just made it amazing. No, not that. Well,
It's impossible. This shit is legit impossible. Fucking god, bro. That hurt?
So yeah, who's making the lobby?
I got you.
Now that I have King, this can be just like Tekken Rev again. Well, I was actually doing good.
Good stuff.
I just hope I still remember my mix-ups.
Making a no lobby.
Alright.
Oh, y'all were already playing. I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a bigger lobby.
My bad, I didn't mean to intrude.
It's not a problem at all.
It's so cold, I swear. If it wasn't finals week, I would not be going to school tomorrow.
You know, a lot of people have finals and, you know, just not even taking the time to study. Instead of playing Tekken.
I mean, I stayed at school till like 8, or not 8, 6, so. Just cause the curfew for the school was like 11 to 6 a.m.
Excuse me.
Thank God for college studying. And I still gotta sign up for classes for the spring semester.
Yeah. Someone else has to do that.
Student.
You can join whenever you want.
Oh, my bad. Wait, thou had no invite.
I didn't send you anything. I don't think I did.
Oh,
Oh, what's
I didn't get one.
JT. So wait, okay, I'll send it to you after this.
I wonder can I find you in the play match? Let's see.
Hold on, Canary, hold on. I'll set myself on one so you can join. Alright, there you go. You can play now.
Okay.
You can join now.
Okay. Take me by the hand, bring me to a land that you understand. This is it. It's weird taking medicine with hot chocolate.
This killer is so bad.
What's up, y'all?
What's up?
Oh, it's not Divine Ruler. Oh wait, I forgot he didn't said he hit that.
What the fuck? Why did getting hit by a pallet, like, take away my ability? I wasn't even using it.
So while you were ranking up, Kennard, did you ever get demoted?
I haven't got demoted since third dan.
Oh, wow. Must be nice.
I'm not even being fun like that shit. It's ridiculous in rank with some of the stuff I gotta go through.
So I'm
Especially
going
once
through
you kind of get to reds and purples, it gets ridiculous.
I was gonna say, so I'm finally. Am I, where you? Basically. I'm
The only thing that kind of saves my ass is that half the people I be fighting don't know the matchup for Lars at all, because usually they don't really fight Lars players like this, so they kind of give me an advantage.
Yep. Everybody at the higher ranks play my character though, so yay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, especially in foods and ranks, you're gonna
rank?
see a lot of war ranks.
And Lee's?
Lee?
Oh, I rarely see Lees in Tekken,
No,
period.
you don't see Lee that often. The Lee community is very small.
Shit, I'm saying, did he ever get a buff in season 2?
He got a buff like pre-season 2, like mid-season 1, but that only gave him a little bit more use.
Like he can combo
Because-
off of shit that he wasn't normally able to combo off of. That's the only buff that he got. That aside, Lee is still, he's not a bad character, but it's just
He's
like
just
there's no need
not
to
as
play
much
him.
payoff. There's not enough payoff to play as him.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Like don't get me wrong, Lee is a really good character, and he's really hard to
Don't
play.
judge it.
He takes a lot of execution, and there's no point. You can play an easier, more simpler character who would do a whole lot better than Lee would, and you don't have to always fear about dropping your combos when you play as other characters. When you play Lee, you have to get used to dropping them. Your misstep cancels are not going to be on point all the time.
Help. I forgot it's Kennard I'm playing against. And not any other person on ring. No.
You gotta understand that even though I'm a divine ruler, I get my ass whooped. Shit, look at earlier. If I play, like, even if I'm playing against a beginner, if I play, like, at some high level shit, I'm sorry, but that's just how I normally play, because I gotta play like this to rank up. I can't wait to reach Tekken God Prime with Lars so I can get that game a fucking break. God, man.
A break.
I'm not gonna be playing online. I'm gonna just be in practice mode all the time when I get on Tekken, and then I'll maybe can get online again. I ain't playing rank no more. I'm gonna just do one last video and then I'm done. I can't. Oh, I don't know. Like, if I can really get to, like, Tekken God Prime with Lars, I'll be making some history.
I am so proud of you guys.
Wait, what? So proud of you guys. Who's that?
Well, Kennard didn't say it, man. Like in general, like when I first started this game, I was in orange while everyone was in green. Oh, by the way, I installed Tekken again.
Oh, oh yeah, yo, Master Raven, the truth, bro.
See, I feel even more like a scrub that y'all are like high in rank, so I'm still.
Oh no, Artlu was higher than me when I first got the game. I got the game in February, so pretty much everybody was higher than me.
I was gonna say I got the game in June.
Pretty much when I joined Zaibatsu, I was like the second highest rank, but I was the only English speaker at that high rank.
I can't believe I'm a fucking divine ruler out of everybody. That shit's ridiculous. I ain't played Tekken in a long time.
Since starting back up.
Yeah, it's been like 4 or 5 years.
I was gonna say I got this game in June.
Cause when I played Tekken Revolution, it took me like less than a year to reach Bayako, and then I stopped playing to go play MK and Call of Duty. But yeah, man, Art Lou, if you ever think about getting into ranked in Tekken, you will make it, bro. I know you can.
Wow, they just gave me a 4K.
Did they change anything?
They just show you where your progress is when you after you beat somebody, how long it takes you to rank up.
Oh.
Yeah, you have a rank meter now. Whenever you play ranked, and it tells you how many points you've lost, how many points you've gained, and how far away you are from your rank up or your rank down.
Good stuff.
Well, yeah, they just gave me an easy 4K off of not doing shit, and you guys saw like they were doing perfectly fine. Honestly, this killer is just terrible. The only reason I'm getting away with murder is just because I'm capitalizing off of a lot of punishment, off of a lot of mistakes that they're making. That's all it is. With that, I'm gonna play somebody else before this killer just irks my everlasting nerve, because I feel like I shouldn't have to work that hard.
Hey DeLorean, why don't you just, when you finish that stream, why don't you just stream the player matches if you join this lobby?
Because I already played my player matches for the day. I don't feel like getting on Tekken.
Oh. Oh, okay.
I dropped the ball on that one. I'm not gonna even sit here and pretend. Fuck, but okay.
Hey mom, what's up?
What's that, up forward 3 or up forward 4 you kept doing?
That's up forward 3.
Oh.
I don't know why I did up 4-3 with Lord. That's not usually my thing.
Yeah.
Oh shit. What? What? Ooh.
He dropped it.
He dropped it.
I fucked up. Oh my god, bro.
I don't know who I want to play now.
I hate that I got this game
Actually,
after
let's go play
else.
Survivor.
I swear I'm so far behind, it's ridiculous.
You will make it. You gotta remember, I made it 3 months ago. I was where you was at. Yeah.
Oh,
actually, Art, like my PS4 broke down for like 3 months, and I came back in September, and I tried to play and got demoted 4 times my first day. So the next day I trained for like a few hours straight and came out, and I went from 3rd Dan to Divine Ruler in 3 months.
Okay.
And hopefully I get further and further ahead up to the max rank.
If I could at least hit green before March, I'll be happy.
No, that should be easy. You'll be fine.
You can hit green.
you can hit yellow.
Just that every time I play King, there's like someone that just, there's that person that doesn't know what they're doing, and you start pressing buttons, and I don't know how to get past that.
Let them press after they finish swinging. Just hit their ass with a grab chain.
Pretty much.
Like if they going for low.
Most fighting games work this way. Most fighting games work in turns. Try to figure out when their turn ends. Take your turn. If you do a grab chain, they're not going to be able to break out of it.
You can make it easily with King because think about it. You can block punches. They can't block grabs. Like they can try to take it, but at light blue rank, they not doing that shit.
Yep.
There's a rare few people who take throws at silver rank, such as my ass, because I would just mash square until I broke out.
Too used to playing Soul Calibur and blocking with X.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I like the textures that they did. They did change a
I
lot
played
of the
the Soul
textures.
Calibur beta with Siegfried. I hadn't played with Nightmare yet, but I like Soul Calibur more than Tekken, kind of, to a degree.
They changed a lot of the textures. Like this
What's
place
up,
looks
bro?
a whole lot better,
What's going on?
more eerie.
I'd say play Soul Calibur. I mean, yeah, there's gonna be some toxic shit in Soul Calibur when I probably play it one day, but if you want to have a good time, just play that game. But Tekken is like, well, I don't know, one of the hardcore motherfuckers is, I guess.
Yeah. And like you said, it kind of fucked up that you have people that want to come over from Tekken to Soul Calibur.
Wow.
Nah, keep that
That's
top.
because they changed up Tekken from its original fighting style.
They gonna try to come to MK2, and I can't wait for that. I'm gonna torture every single last one of their ass.
I was gonna say I'm probably not getting MK because I never liked the little MK Injustice style of fighting. Just because
Oh, I'm definitely playing MK. MK for life.
Just because for them there's no such thing as a sidestep. And don't you dare tell me that there is.
You can jump over an attack or block it,
Yeah,
or
that's
go under
doing
it.
way too much.
Not really.
I'm not as skilled
They're
at
not
being
really-
able to do that.
I'm not gonna make it.
Well, it's a 2D fighter, so yeah.
I'd rather jump over fireball than sidestep and get my ass hit by a tracking move.
True that.
Or a nigga catch you with a snake edge and boom, that's just half your health gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
more
and
than
if you got the right character, you
But how you been doing, Arlu?
What's up, Art? What's good, man?
I've been playing nothing but Soul Calibur. I'm blocking with the X button. Even though that's just
I
another
saw
kick.
I saw that nigga, he was straight grinding Red Dead and Soul Calibur.
Oh god, not Infinite Azure.
Shit, I've been grinding that Black Ops 4, I ain't gonna stop either, shit.
I know you probably done answer this question a whole lot, but we gonna drop your first Black Ops 4 video.
Yeah. Yep, that's my new goal, to hit green by March. If I could do that, I'll be happy.
My Black Ops 4 video, it's gonna be a while before that comes. I gotta trim a lot of my Black Ops 4 videos. But it's gonna get, probably a lot of people gonna end up watching it. Just off of the fucking fact that, you know, they like watching me play Call of Duty.
How many subs do you have?
Like 280 or 279.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you do play Lars. Never mind, you sure do.
They're gonna have sponsored content in Street Fighter 5.
If
The
I
outfit.
could remember something.
That outfit fresh too.
Thank God they actually lowered the. Thank God they have a sale for this. Not dash man. Then a total of $60 on 3 season pass.
Where are all the generators?
Ooh,
I thought he was going for a low.
me too. I thought I was going for a low too.
I swear I thought he was going for the low.
You trying to go for the low low.
Okay, why is this Lars so unpredictable? Someone help me.
That's how,
Someone help me.
Step one, a nigga playing Lars, you're not gonna really know what he doing because no one plays this nigga. Unfortunately.
nice.
I used to play against a lot of Lars players. I still do. Shit.
Shit, that's surprising.
I
I
know
went
when
on my second account.
Nigga, I know an entire community full of them niggas. I got like 4 people on my friends list that play that nigga. Aside from y'all.
I played. There was only a,
If I could just remember what the hell I'm doing, this would be great.
there was only a very few large players I didn't play in 7. I played a couple of them
Alright, Arlo, what are
on
you
my
playing?
finesse gang account.
No! No! Why are you still alive?
Yeah, I played a couple of them on my finesse gang account. I demoted one of them, but man, I didn't want to demote him, but he was using 404 a little too much.
No more.
Oh no, I'm still alive. I'm good. This is fine.
What?
He did the fucking full
I'm sorry.
Jaguar
I'm sorry.
kicks.
I am sorry. I'm sorry. Laurie is too unpredictable. Help.
Thanatophobia isn't slowing anybody down.
Help. No. Oh god. I'm too bad on the right side. No. No.
Whew.
Good game.
Yeah.
I hate Lars so much.
See, if that was a wall, if we had walls, I would have remembered what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I hate Lars so much.
I hate it. Like, they use the same engine, but they have different buttons, so I'm just like trying to block with X all the time.
I done saw a few Tekken streamers say they hate Lars. I'll be like, for what?
Well, you see why I hate Lars. I respect Lars players, but Lars is a character I can't stand.
I hope muscle
For
memory
what
helps me
reason?
win this.
Huh?
For what reason?
Because the people who use it makes them look so unpredictable, it makes me mad. And the fact that he has the tools to be unpredictable makes me even more mad.
Oh well, then you'll hate my main.
Oh, you a hate Master Raven then.
Oh yeah, you'll hate me. For real, for real.
I already
That kinda
hate
hit y'all since he's a mix-up character.
Why you hate Master Raven?
because of the same reason why
I was
hate
thinking
Lars.
about maining Master Raven since I got Geese now. And I haven't practiced with Geese in a while.
I don't want to hear nothing about your geese after what happened last night. Double
What happened?
replicate block, double replicate block, double replicate block. Bruh.
You kept trying to snake it, so I had to get you up off the floor somehow.
I did. What? What do you mean I kept trying to snake it?
Oh,
I
you
kept
playing
doing-
Master Raven? Oh shit, okay.
Oh boy. This could be interesting now.
I remembered.
So I remember.
What?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Whoa. We have teleportation.
Woo! I remembered. All the muscle memories there. I'm so happy.
I'm
Oh
not.
no, I just tried blocking with X.
Oh boy.
You know, at least them combo muscle memories there.
Exactly.
I just dropped 3 combos. If Halu did this on me,
Oh my god, that damage. Something's not right here.
I actually had a chance to win this, but I fucked it up for myself, and we're
Well,
gonna
I'm
be
dead.
honest.
They should all be getting
That
out.
damage.
Oh my god. What is that damage? Oh my god. My god. Oh, almost a perfect.
Whoa!
What?
The the position change.
I'm gonna need a rematch on that. What the fuck happened?
I mean, I landed. I landed on the other side, but it still hit you.
Yeah, some shit like that happened when I did that to Breezy with Lars Kick. He was like, he stopped playing the fucking game and went to go play something else. Shit, she seemed like if she can do enough damage. Master Raven kind of a direct counter to Warane. Shit, she do some similar damage towards heals, fast.
She still has the best wall combo damage in the game.
Yep.
Alright, with that, I'm gonna close out this stream. We'll probably get into some more Legion stuff later tomorrow. But, yeah, thanks for watching.